How to tell if your upline is full of shit. In the health insurance, senior insurance, Medicare insurance, final expense insurance even world, it is extremely common and in most cases necessary. Not even a multitude of insurance companies will even let you contract direct, will require that you go and contract through an FMO, an upline of some kind, somebody that has greater levels of contracts than yourself. But it is common, and there's a long, dark history with skeletons galore in a closet of uplines, FMOs, and people that have other agents in their hierarchies to just blatantly lie about this, about that. You know, you hear the song, they lie a little bit of this, they lie a little bit of that. I kind of changed the words up a little bit to match my narrative here, but they lie a little bit of this, they lie a little bit of that, right? It's a long history, guys. It's a long, long history, and prior to probably, I would say 2016, 17, maybe even 2018 on a more mainstream basis, there was no way to really find out if someone was lying to you. It was very hard to do because this information was all kept at the top, and it was almost like a secret little club, an Illuminati club of sorts, of people that ran, worked at, and controlled FMOs, large agencies, things like that. And it was like an unwritten rule that you didn't tell anybody about it if they weren't part of the club. I'm talking about how things work from a standpoint of contract levels, how things work on incentives, how things work in terms of a multitude of different things, right? So here's, in my opinion, how you can tell if your upline is full of shit, okay? I have worked with a ton of different uplines. I've worked with a ton of different FMOs in my career as an agent. Now I am an FMO head. I do run an organization that works with hundreds, 400 plus agents across the country. By the end of this year, I believe we'll be able to be working with 1,000 agents across the country. And the reason why we've been able to do that and been so successful, that there's been countless agents that work with us that saw, let's say, their production be here prior to us, and after working with us, their production is here. I believe we have become known and have a reputation to maximize and raise people's production than they could do without us, right? We're good at taking people from here and bringing them to here, right? That's what our brand is. That's what we become known to do in a multitude of different ways. But I'll tell you guys that I still see a lot of imposters out there. I still see a lot of posers out there. And I still see a lot of guys that, you know, you can tell they are full of it, okay? I'm not going to mention any names, but I'm going to give you guys some things that you can look for to kind of understand what you're talking about, okay? So number one, if you sign with an FMO and they want you to fill out a separate contract to sign with them, and I don't mean a carrier contract. You're going to have to fill out contracts with the carriers just to get contracted in general. So a contract with a Humana, an Aetna, a Cigna, United Healthcare, take your pick. But if the FMO themselves has their own specific agreement that you have to sign, my first question I would ask is why? Why do I have to sign that? We don't require it. And any FMOs we've worked with prior to becoming an FMO that was good, that treated us well, didn't make us sign that. Normally, there's some suspect BS in these specific FMO contracts. Now, it is sometimes common for an agency, an established agency, to want to do a contract of their own with an FMO, right? Maybe they want an upfront release or something like that, just to verify that if they want to leave down the road, if it doesn't work out, they'll be able to get released. That's all right. But if your FMO has a contract that every single agent needs to sign, my first question is be like, what is in this contract? Because there's nothing they should have to make you sign. I would say if you have an FMO that makes you sign a contract or asks you to sign a contract, don't go with them. They should be out of business. There's nothing for them to have you sign, in my opinion, guys. This video is brought to you by the 7 Figure Medicare Agent Summit. Guys, have you ever wanted to get around other professionals and the best of the best in the Medicare space if you're a Medicare agent? There's something to be said about networking and learning what other people are doing around the country. And they might just have some ideas that you may never have thought of before. It's also something to be said about learning from the best of the best. The most successful people in the insurance space collaborate, talk with others, and they have a mentality that we all are in this together and we share ideas and grow together. The Seven Figure Medicare Agent Summit is the premier event for Medicare agents. It is highly affordable. It has a great reputation of being some of the best content you're going to find at any event. There's so many events out there that are nothing but pitch fests, or half of the speakers are employees for the agency that host the event, and there's not really any real agency builders, or very few that actually take the stage and speak. At the Seven Figure Medicare Agent Summit, you get nothing but the best of the best talent from all over the industry. It's not based on hierarchy. It's not based on anything like that. We all are coming together as Medicare agents to grow and learn and get better. You can get information on who the speakers are for this year's event and ticket prices down in the link of this description. We would love to see you at the Seven Figure Medicare Agent Summit. Usually when I've seen these types of situations and somebody signs it and you actually go through and look it through later, years later, specifically when you want to leave, there's some suspect stuff in there. For example, like there's a non-compete potentially in there that they've snuck in there. Non-compete means, non-compete can mean a multitude of different things. There's different types of non-competes, but essentially a non-compete would mean they don't have to release you. You have to self-release. If you try to leave them, that maybe you can't work in the industry for a certain period of time. Now, it's common for agents to sign non-competes, non-NDAs, all kinds of things like that when they are an LOA. LOA means licensed only agent. What this means is you're an employee for an agency. You work for an agency. You're writing business, but they're providing you with leads, salary in most cases, systems, phone systems, CRM. They're paying for your licenses. They're paying for your AHIP. They're paying for your, that you're an employee for the business. So anytime you sell a policy, the policy you're selling belongs to them, right? It's not the same as being an independent agent. And there's actually nothing wrong with being an LOA. I know plenty of people that are LOAs in our industry that make more than most independent agents do because they don't have to worry about anything other than selling. But it's normal to sign these kind of documents and agreements if you're an employee, if you're an LOA. But if you're an independent agent and you're just trying to contract with an FMO and they're trying to make you sign all this stuff, run the other way as far as I'm concerned. Red flag, okay? Number one. Number two, if you are with an FMO or an upline and you want to go in a different direction, maybe you found a better opportunity, and they are saying they won't provide you a release unless you tell them, one, where you're going, and two, what you're getting from this new organization. To me, that's a trap, right? They don't need to know any of that, but they do hold the cards. They can agree to release you or not release you. But to me, it's suspect if an organization is asking those types of questions because there's no reason for them to need to know that. And a lot of times it's a trap. They're trying to bait you into unveiling all this stuff so that way they can say, well, let us try to match that. Let us try to do this. Let us try to do that. What I've always told people is if you get a better offer from somebody and you go in a different, and you're trying to go in a different direction, you get a better offer, it's a better situation, they're going to help you with training. Let's say you're not getting any training. They're going to give you more attention and support and be more responsive. They're not responsive to you historically. And they're like, well, we'll fix that. It's almost like an abusive or bad relationship where there's years of history of the relationship being bad. And you're trying to leave. It's like, I can change. I can change, dear. I can change. They're not going to change. And if they really care about your partnership, they have to be walking out the door for them to be wanting to do better for you. My opinion, right? So if somebody comes back and asks for that, I'm not saying you shouldn't give them that information, but I would give them the information as vaguely as possible. Tell them as little as possible. Say, I feel better about the future with this other group. I like their training better. Like, don't tell them any specifics because it's none of the damn business, right? It's like having to tell your ex what's going on with your new partner. Your ex is none of her business. She's not with you anymore. So understand that, right? If you're with an FMO, this is one of my favorites, let's say that specializes in another line of insurance, life, annuities, something like that, and you want to add Medicare to it, and maybe they don't do Medicare or they're not strong in Medicare, and they say, there's no money in Medicare. No money in Medicare. My response every time I hear that from an agent, I was like, could have fooled me. I'm doing pretty well. My company's doing pretty well. Made millions of dollars in this industry. 7-figure business, right? They're just trying to push a narrative to you to try to discourage you from taking the focus away from what they want you to be doing. That's how to spot some real BS. What's some others? What's some others that you can spot? You need 5 agents or 3 agents for a GA contract. It's a lie. So for those of you that don't know what I mean, a GA contract standing for a general agent contract, it means a different thing for Medicare Supplement than it means for Medicare Advantage. Okay, so for Medicare Advantage, a GA contract is the first level above street. It's the first level you can earn overrides, and it's the first level you can have agents contract under you and you can train them. You get usually about a $40, $50, $60 override depending on the carrier per app. And a lot of FMOs still to this day lie to their agents, they lie to their downline by telling them that the carriers are going to require you to get 3 agents contracted, 4 agents, 5 agents. I've even heard as many as 10 agents before they'll give you a GA contract. And so let's say you have 2 agents and you're killing it, you're writing a bunch of business, but you don't have 5. They're going to keep you at street level and they're not going to pay you on any of those overrides. None of them. They're just going to pocket them and they're going to tell you it's the carrier, but it's not. Every single carrier requires 1 agent underneath you that's not yourself to be able to get a GA contract. Every single Medicare Advantage carrier I've ever seen. So if they try to tell you that lie, it is a lie. I assure you. We have an abundance of agents that work with us that have GA contracts that just have 1 agent underneath them. Abundance. We work with all of the major carriers. So this is a tried and true lie. And in my opinion, I would tell you guys that if you catch your FMO in a lie or your upline in a lie, how can you ever trust them again? How, I ask you, how can you ever trust them again? You want to get out of that relationship as quickly as possible because if they're lying to you about that, there's probably 10 other things they're lying to you about that you don't know about. We don't have time to cover in this video. So watch out for these things, guys. These are all red flags to me. These are all things I've seen in my career, and there's all things I've seen early and often. Don't sign contracts that you don't need to sign. Read them through thoroughly if you're thinking about signing them. Don't accept an answer of 5 agents for a GA contract. It's BS. Go somewhere else. Move your contracts. And don't let them play games with you on releases. And if they will not release, put in self-releases and move in 90 days. Hope you found this video helpful, guys. This is a thing that needs to be said. And I'm sure a lot of people that watch this video aren't going to like it. They're not going to like it because I'm exposing some of the BS that happens at the top. But these are things you deserve to know about and you need to know about. If you guys found this video helpful, if you feel like awareness like this is needed for agents, I need you to help me by smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It helps more agents just like you find the video who need to see this information. Comment your thoughts down below. Have you ever been told any of these lies from an FMO? Let us know about it. Subscribe. We put out weekly videos to help you with your business, and we do not intend on stopping. Thanks for watching, guys. Here's to your success and your abundance.